Hello, today we're talking about flams. A flam basically has two parts, grace note and principal stroke. Right? The grace note can be played with the left hand or the right hand. When we're playing a right-handed flam, the grace note is played with the left hand and it hits the playing surface a split second before the principal note. Okay? When we're playing a left-handed flam, the right note or the right hand executes the grace note a split second before the left hand note plays. Okay? So right-handed flams, the left hand's going to do this. Down around 1 inch. Young players start to do this. It's almost like they're tied with a string. The right hand is up and their left hand comes up and they start playing flams like that. Then they become flat flams. So you've got to force or focus your left hand when you're playing right-handed flams to just do this. All right? So you might want to practice down around 1 inch. And also the right hand. So if you're going to play multiple right-handed flams, they will be executed like so. Okay, so watch my left hand when I'm playing the right-handed flams. There's no effort at all. I'm basically just releasing the stick and letting the bead touch the playing surface. So once you get the muscle memory built and you get the sound of the flam that you want, there are several different ways of interpreting flams. Old school is to play them open. Alright, new school is almost flat. Somewhere in between is really what we're looking for when you're playing as an individual. Alright? So, flam, what does the flam do? Well, basically it just gives the note more body. It's hard to hear that when you're playing on a practice pad, but if you're playing on a drum that has any ring to it, it just gives the note more presence. Alright? So I would, if you're a novice, if you're a beginner, or maybe an intermediate player, if you're playing flams, just play a succession of right-handed flams to start with. And just get that motion down. Get that sound down so that we're consistent throughout. Alright? So consistent. I had a teacher once that said flam should sound like chot and not plot. Plot is, right? Chot is more like, alright? That means that the large note or the upper note or the principal note is going to be placed a little bit just slightly behind the grace note, but not so far behind that it sounds like, alright, you don't want that and you don't want this, alright, somewhere in between flat and that. So you're going to want to play, it'll take you a while before you're able to do that. And then you'll do multiple lefts, as slow as you need to do it. Practice with a metronome. Once you're able to play that, you know, the next rudiment might be, it might not even a rudiment, maybe some eighth notes, and put flams on the first of every four. So you go like, and just add flams to some basic eighth notes. Start with the left, or start with the right, and then do some lefts. And just get used to inserting flams in basic rhythms. All right, so you might want to play some. And then put a flam on the first of every three. Or just get used to doing that. Don't worry about playing flam paradiddles or inverted flam taps or anything like that. Just play some basic rhythms. Another one you could play would be just like straight 16ths. And then put a flam on the first of every 4. So I'd go like maybe a check pattern. And get that motion down. And then start maybe with, probably the easiest flam rudiment would be the Flam Accent number 1, which is basically just triplets with a flam on the first of every 3. All right, try to get those consistent. Flam paradiddles. Okay, you're playing paradiddles with a flam on the first of every 4. Flam taps, which is right, right, left, left, with a flam on the first of every 2. And then you could play, I don't know, maybe Swiss triplets, which is right, right, left, or da-da-pa, and put a flam on the first of every 3. So you can do a check pattern like that. Inverted flam taps, which is right, left, left, right. Okay. Then you could go and graduate onto the cheese rudiments, which is basically putting a flam and a diddle on a rudimental figure. If you're playing Flam Accent number 1, you put a cheese on the flams, you're going to go. Okay, I'm using a check pattern, so you play 4 counts of Flam Accents and then 4 counts of cheeses. All right, you can do flam, same way with flam drags. Flam 5s. You could do 4-note Swisses, which is right, 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 left with a flam on the first. You could do, learn to play flam, the windmills, which is basically a backward paradiddle with a flam on the diddle. Inverted windmills, which is basically a paradiddle with a flam on the diddle. You can learn choo-choos, which is basically the same as an inverted windmill with an accent. Maybe some multiple flam rudiments with, you could play windmills, which would actually be a double flam windmill, which is going to be right, right, left, left, right, left, with 2 flams on the diddles. And then you could put a diddle after that, after the first 2 flams on the right and left. Okay. The list goes on and on and on. Lots of hybrid rudiments, but the flam, the basic flam exercise would just play a succession of right-handed flams, maybe 8 and then left 8. But just focus on the height of the flam of the grace note, okay? You don't want your grace notes to come way up here because it's going to turn your flams into flat flams, which is not what you want. You want the grace note to be down here, all right? Okay, so maybe 8 rights, 8 lefts, and 8 alternate. That'd be a good exercise. You're going to go 8 right. So, practice your flams, but make sure you can play the basic rudiment, the flam, before you take off learning all of the the essential rudiments and the hybrid rudiments. Okay? So until next time, practice the basic rudiments without the flams and then insert the flams. Alright? Keep working your basics. Keep on drumming.